Ah, Pokemon. Few things can stand the test of time quite like the fantasy of traveling in a world full of magical creatures, capturing them, and turning them into your partners and best friends.
What's that? Did somebody mention Pokemon, aka the extremely strategic game of rock, paper, sword, and shield, where a 10-year-old child takes one animal to beat the ever-living crap out of another 10-year-old child's animal while simultaneously causing collateral damage to everything around you?
Whoa! Is that JoCat from the Crap Guide to D&D videos? What are you doing?
Well, I'm glad you asked, incredibly opinionated nerd on the internet. Thank goodness I arrived to bless this otherwise shitty video, or else you would have forgotten about the only legendary Pokemon worth a damn. Mewtwo, the one and only true legendary Pokemon, because all the other ones are dumb and don't matter. I'm Professor JoCat, but you can call me Elf Monster, and welcome to the world of Pokemon.
Howdy friendos, my name is Stuart, and in this video we're going to examine Mewtwo from the various Pokemon movies to determine what alignment it is on the D&D alignment chart. To those that don't know what Pokemon is...
Those that don't know, my poor, stupid, ignorant beef stew. There are about as many people who don't know what Pokemon is as there are people whose favorite starter is Chikorita.
In the main series Pokemon games, you play as an average child in an extraordinary world full of magical creatures called Pokemon. Your quest is to become the greatest Pokemon trader in the world. To do this, you must capture and recruit as many powerful Pokemon to your side as possible. Along your journey, you will battle your friends, rivals, and whatever evil organization the game decides to throw at you. These games have evolved throughout the years and have changed things considerably to match the advancements in technology.
Evolved throughout the years? The games have evolved about as much as an iPhone in a Tom and Jerry episode. You've played one, you've traveled, caught, and battled them all, including all these dumb designs. What are these? Ice cream? Car keys? Back in my day, we had all the perfectly designed, realistic Pokemon that we needed, like Bat, and Snake, and Dookie. It evolves into bigger Dookie.
Running alongside the Pokemon games is a long-running anime series of the same name. The show stars a boy named Ash Ketchum,
who's absolute muck. I mean Dookie. Ash Ketchum sucks more than a Roomba in a red light district. He catches 4 Pokemon a season, misses romance flags like he's a Canadian competitor in a triathlon, and has won more Darwin Awards than the average LiveLeaks account.
However, throughout his 20-year journey, he has come across many powerful and exotic Pokemon,
while catching none of them. That doesn't count. I won't stand for this gray ditto-looking piece of...
However, few are more powerful and more interesting than the biological marvel that is Mewtwo from Mewtwo Strikes Back and Mewtwo Returns. In the Pokemon world, Mewtwo is a fascinating and unique creature. In the anime, Mewtwo was a genetic experiment created by Dr. Fuji in an attempt to master the cloning technique. Fuji had hoped that his experiment would enable him to resurrect his daughter Amber. No, not that one. There we go.
If you think this is noble, I'm gonna have to stop you there, because Mount Fiji water over here was funded by mob money with the goal of creating the world's most powerful Pokemon.
And we succeeded.
I'm getting to it, Mr. Impatiently Impatient. This walking cat fetus was cloned from a local truck mechanic called Mew, who is the common ancestor to all Pokemon, a statement I'm sure is definitive and will put all speculation and uncertainty at rest forever, and no arguments will ever be made about it in the future.
Mew, being the primordial Pokemon, was thought to be extremely powerful, and thus cloning and creating a more powerful version of him was the goal of Team Rocket's Giovanni. Mewtwo was created with the express purpose of being the world's most powerful tool and weapon. However, something happened to Mewtwo that Giovanni wasn't expecting. Mewtwo grew his own consciousness and will. Unknown to many, there was a Japanese radio drama that was animated and then added into the future releases of the first movie called The Origin of Mewtwo, which explains that Mewtwo's consciousness began before his actual birth. In this intro, it is revealed that while still in utero, Mewtwo had a psychic link between himself, Amber, and 3 other clone Pokemon.
Which doesn't last long because everybody dies. Except Mewtwo. And his memory got wiped. Well, that was pointless.
Yes, but this does go to show that Mewtwo's origin story begins before the events of the first movie, and his first appearance isn't just the rage-filled explosion. Without the context of this opening, we might have started Mewtwo's alignment on the evil side. However, because of this, we know that Mewtwo actually started his alignment as a very curious, true neutral aligned character. And with that...
And with that, my perfectly sculpted muscular ass, aren't you forgetting something?
Well, what do you mean?
What do you mean? Here's a cliche flashback sequence with an echoing voice of your last video.
I'm thinking Mewtwo from the Pokemon movies.
Mewtwo from the Pokemon movies? Pokemon movies.
Do you think you can keep up with me?
Oh.
I'm going to speed up.
No.
Calm yourselves.
No!
Stop it! People live in there!
That's right, bitch. If I had to stop my cookie baking session for this, then I can't be the only one who suffers. You got 2 more Mewtwo to examine. Two.
Yeah. Okay. There are actually 2 more Mewtwo out there that I would be remiss for not addressing. And this is the feminine Mewtwo that appears in Mewtwo Prologue to Awakening and... the Genesect movie.
Sucks to suck, sucker. This is a different Mewtwo, but his backstory is nearly identical to the Mewtwo of the first 2 movies, because the anime writers are scared of originality like an artist is scared of actually making art. Yeah, that's right, I can see you there not drawing after you promised to today.
What?
Yeah, this one was also born in a lab, although with an unknown motivation. Like, the last Mewtwo also broke out and destroyed the laboratory and then fled the scene. However, unlike the first Mewtwo, we're going to label this one as chaotic good, because she only destroys the lab when she escapes, and the fact that she is constantly saving other creatures. She makes friends with other Pokemon pretty easily, but she still says she hates humans.
And?
Oh god. Detective Pikachu.
That's right, he's a Mewtwo in a Pokemon movie and goes through an arc, so you have to cover him, or else the entire comment section will be very helpful in reminding you that you forgot about him. I'm sure you have the perfectly right idea what alignment he is, which will be totally uncontroversial and everybody will agree with.
Lawful neutral.
What?
Yeah, seriously, lawful neutral. The first thing we do after escaping the R facility is saving the life of a person he struck a deal with. We know that this Mewtwo must have a similar backstory to the others, seeing as how he escaped from Kanto and is cloned from Mew. However, since his behavior suggests he didn't go through arcs like the other 2, meaning that he is a different continuity altogether. He also says he believes that all humans are bad, but he also goes out of his way to honor his agreement, so I'm going to say lawful neutral.
I'm gonna put my boot between your gums.
This cannot be my destiny.
Under almost every other circumstance, this would be considered a chaotic evil act. However, Mewtwo did this as a combination between panic and rage, and not exactly malice. This will probably be the most lenient we'll ever be on this, but in this circumstance, we'll be labeling this as chaotic neutral.
We dreamed of creating the world's strongest Pokemon, and we succeeded.
Trust me, and I'll show you a way to focus your powers that will make you invincible.
Mewtwo then agrees to work and train with Giovanni, believing that they will be partners in whatever his plans are. Lawful neutral.
Mewtwo doesn't immediately realize the obvious evil man's evilness. Lawful stupid.
Training your powers with your believed partner is the fastest way to get badass set of training armor. Lawful neutral.
Mewtwo perpetuates the unethical Tauros meat market. Lawful evil.
I bet you thought I forgot about this episode. But in this episode of the anime, which was a brilliant tie-in by the way, Gary challenges Giovanni for the Earth Badge and wipes out all of his Pokemon easily until Giovanni sends out Mewtwo. Mewtwo, under Giovanni's orders, utterly trashes Gary's team and then does something to him and his harem of cheerleaders. And before you say he passed out from the pain of the electric shock thing, no, he didn't, because Gary wasn't standing on the stupid platform Ash stood on. Lawful evil.
I stand alone.
Mewtwo is well aware that the building he is housed in is staffed by dozens of people, and others come in at a regular basis at this point. When Mewtwo goes ballistic and destroys the gym, he destroys it knowing that he is likely killing other innocent bystanders. Chaotic evil.
I will find my own purpose and purge this planet of all who oppose me.
Mewtwo vows to kill everyone. Everyone against him. Chaotic evil.
I like the cut of his jib. Neutral good.
As you wish.
Mewtwo invites a bunch of powerful trainers to the island with the intent of stealing their Pokemon and turning them into clones. Chaotic evil. Mewtwo then creates a storm that will destroy the planet. Chaotic evil.
Mewtwo destroys climate change deniers with facts and logic. Chaotic good. Mewtwo floats down instead of using the stairs like a reasonable person. Chaotic evil.
Tortures and attacks a human directly. Chaotic evil.
Your usefulness has ended.
Enslaving Nurse Joy. Chaotic evil.
So that he can convert her to the good name of Sword and Shield. Lawful good.
You are as pathetic as the rest.
Attacking Pikachu rather than listening to him. Chaotic evil.
I too began with Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur.
Mewtwo won't share where his clones got their badass tattoos. Neutral evil.
Mewtwo then humors the trainers with a Pokemon battle to prove his clones are superior. Neutral.
They will remain safe on this island with me, while my storm destroys the planet.
He then steals the Pokemon after winning and then attacks Ash. Chaotic evil. Mewtwo attempts to murder both Ash and Mew. Chaotic evil.
Mewtwo attempts to murder both Ash and Mew, lawful good.
I will block all the Pokemon's special abilities using my psychic powers. Now we shall see who triumphs. Go!
Mewtwo disables all the Pokemon special attacks for a fair fight. Weirdly lawful neutral.
What transpired here I will always remember. But perhaps for you, these events are best forgotten.
Mewtwo takes his clones, ends the storm, erases the memory of the others, and then leaves peacefully. Since Mewtwo acts in what he believes is the best solution for everyone, I'll classify this as lawful good.
We are outcasts. So we must live as outcasts.
Mewtwo and his clones move into an area with extreme conditions in order to avoid human contact. I'm calling this chaotic good because Mewtwo insists that he doesn't care about humans. Mewtwo claims he saved the people on the bus in order to prevent people from coming out and possibly discovering them, supporting my last statement. Neutral.
You believe there is another reason? That I felt concern? That I cared about the safety of those humans? I assure you, that was not the case.
Mewtwo out-edgelords every rogue player, chaotic neutral.
There is nothing to be gained from such battling.
He says it all. Neutral.
Lame.
Should I let them go? All creatures ought to control their own destinies. Or should I force them to stay? Here I can use my powers to protect them from harm.
Genuinely interesting conundrum here. Mewtwo lets a small group of his clones leave on their own will rather than forcing them to stay for their own protection. Since Mewtwo is enabling personal freedom, I'm going to say it's chaotic good. Mewtwo saves the other clones. Lawful good.
Friends, to the island!
Mewtwo rallies his Pokemon in order to save the rest of the clones. Lawful good.
You may control my body, but you will never control my will.
We'll soon see.
Sacrificing himself in order to save the other clones. Lawful good.
It's stronger than I realized. Its brainwaves haven't altered in the least. If this goes on much longer, its body will be destroyed before its will is.
This machine apparently controls a Pokemon's body and will. If the control is resisted, they are tortured. Mewtwo is tortured for an implied several hours with the understanding he will likely die instead. Neutral good.
You will not defile this place. It does not belong to you. Any more than I do.
Mewtwo goes all Jesus on Team Rocket and teleports the mountain elsewhere, peacefully resolving the issue. Neutral good.
Only they shall forget.
Mewtwo erases the memories of Team Rocket, but lets the heroes keep their memories, literally having the best possible outcome. Lawful good. Everyone parts on good terms. The clones head off to fulfill their own destiny, and he gives everyone a lift to their destination. Lawful good.
So that when they least expect it, Mewtwo can rise to power once again and destroy them. Chaotic evil.
This Mewtwo seems much more kind than the other. She opens her special by avoiding attacks and letting them be hoisted by their own petards. Neutral. She also saved a family who were falling to their deaths. Neutral good.
Mewtwo pulls a Gwen Stacy and snaps everybody's neck with gravity. Neutral evil.
Mewtwo refuses aid from others, mistrusting them. Neutral.
No. Leave me alone.
I mean, this happens twice. Should I count it twice? I think I will. Neutral.
Mewtwo bodies Tyranitar down to never used where it belongs. Chaotic good.
I was created to be the most powerful Pokemon, but I only bring trouble to those who dare to get close to me.
Later, Fem2 will contradict this, but in her moment of self-reflection, she seems to regret endangering everyone who came across her. She then saves everyone. Lawful good.
Get Mewtwo now!
Mewtwo crushes Dirk's Pokeballs, freeing his Pokemon and lets the rescuers handle the bad guy. I'd say it's neutral good, but since she freed the other Pokemon, I'll say it's chaotic good, but if you give it any other neutral or good alignment, I don't think I'd argue with you. Chaotic good.
I was only trying to save the Pokemon.
Mewtwo said her motivations were saving the forest and the Pokemon, not the humans. Chaotic good.
I want to challenge the boundaries of my power.
Mewtwo pushes the limit of her power for self-betterment. Neutral. Mewtwo saves the Genesect Order from the avalanche. Neutral good.
What happened here?
The world has completely changed since you called this place home.
Mewtwo attempts to help a group of Genesect understand the new world. Neutral good. Mewtwo swoops in at the last second and saves both Pikachu and Axew. Chaotic good.
Mewtwo also inadvertently saves Ash and his popsicle-haired Scooby Squad. Neutral evil.
Wait a minute! Who was that Pokemon we were with before?
Genesect. A Pokemon who's been extinct for 300 million years.
Once again, Mewtwo is pretty chill, tells the origins of the Genesect, and simply asks the main characters to not say anything, rather than threaten them or erase their memories. Neutral good.
The Batman soundtrack.
Mewtwo tries to kill a zombie by throwing a limited edition Batman soundtrack vinyl record. Chaotic evil. What? I'm bored. There's not enough explosions or swords or exploding swords in this movie for me to pretend I can tolerate worse Brock and worse Misty, so I'm just gonna insert Mewtwo into more fun movies.
Saving a random Pokemon from falling to its death. Neutral good.
Mewtwo pulls a Gwen Stacy and snaps Feraligator's neck with gravity. Neutral evil.
You mustn't hurt the other Pokemon in the city.
Mewtwo gives several chances for Genesect to talk before just kicking its ass. Lawful good.
Mewtwo blows up Leonardo DiCaprio's mansion for being a slave owner. Chaotic good.
Stop it! People live in there!
In this moment, Mewtwo is pretty explicit in that she is trying to save as many people as possible. Lawful good. Mewtwo takes on all 4 Genesect in order to save everyone. Pretty big hero moment. Lawful good.
Mewtwo attempts to commit genocide. Chaotic evil.
This place.
Yes.
Mewtwo convinces Genesect that since they're all from the same planet Earth, they're all on the same team. Humans and Pokemon. Lawful good.
Mewtwo takes Genesect out on a date in space that every other Pokemon he dates from now on will have to beat. Chaotic neutral.
Created because there is a reason for us to be here.
Harry Goodman, your Pikachu offers its body to...
Mewtwo makes a deal with Pikachu to save Harry. Lawful good.
Mewtwo tackles a guy with his crotch. Chaotic neutral.
Healing Pikachu. Neutral good. Telling Tim to run away and save himself. Chaotic good.
I will undo what has been done.
Mewtwo reverts all the people and Pokemon back to normal and heals Tim's dad. Lawful good.
Mewtwo takes away the one chance for furries to live their dreams. Chaotic evil.
I don't think I've mentioned this before, but Mewtwo is actually my favorite Pokemon ever. They're one of the few Pokemon species that we can actually base an alignment chart on because of the unique circumstances of their birth. The rest of the Pokemon world are basically animals with notable few exceptions, but Mewtwo is unique in the sense that it has a human-like intelligence and a drive to understand its place in the world.
Who am I?
Even the other hyper-intelligent Pokemon like Alakazam or Metang or even the Pokegods don't have the existential troubles of Mewtwo. A lot of people don't bring this up, but Pokemon the first movie came out in a real interesting time in the world. Dolly the Sheep was first cloned on July 5th, 1996, and just a few years later this movie came out. Around this time, philosophers, churches, and other places really started to examine the implications of an artificially constructed life form. I can say for certain that my hometown church had huge discussions debating the problems of what they're calling unnatural births, but Mewtwo Strikes Back was one of the first movies that really looked into the problems from the point of view of the clone, especially a clone that was constructed as a weapon. In this sense, the movie was really edgy and really challenging at the time. Nowadays, this trope is kinda everywhere, but this was really the first kids movie to take a deep dive into that perspective. It's kind of unfortunate that the radio drama wasn't adapted into the intro until years later. Either way, the impact of Mewtwo cannot be denied. The image of an impossibly powerful life form floating in stasis in a tube is so incredibly effective that they actively retcon the original Pokemon Red and Blue versions just to drive this point home. It's a frightening implication, and we are approaching a point in this world where stories like this may not be an impossibility.
You done?
Yep.
You know these movies kind of suck, right?
I mean, the first one was pretty good.
Oh really, you think so?
accept the endings.
Are you sure? I could always put on some Phil Collins if that's not 90s enough. Anyway, who wrote this character art? Tetsuya Nomura? First movie Mewtwo starts off neutral and switches to evil. But wait, he's good now because some people got a little bit sad.
In Mewtwo Returns, they at least try to better his progression, and his character development was pretty consistent.
Whatever, he was taking his time like you watching at home take your time on the phone on the toilet. The second one isn't much better. Fem2 takes so much time skating along the good alignment spectrum, I swear I thought she was gonna do a really bad kickflip by the time the movie was over.
And then the last one's pretty easy. That Mewtwo just straight up does nothing but nice things for people. So much that if it didn't have a throwaway line like, I thought all humans were bad, I would have just assumed it was lawful good the whole time.
Whatever, are we done yet?
Yep.
Good. Now, to everyone watching and subscribing, when the video ticker's 100% finished and you want to watch a channel with actual content that doesn't smell like a Smash Bros. Tournament, you can come over to my channel where I teach you how to properly play the various classes of D&D, along with a few other things.
But...
What, do you want to shill something else, ass face? How dare you drag me over to your channel and use my good name to push your Pokemon clickbait agenda? You prick, you absolute imbecile, you insignificant small PP buffoon and a half.
You wanna do another one?
Maybe.